Hi, got a question for you today. What if you could reduce your labor by about 50%? What if you could also increase your gross revenue by 20% or more and getting much of that to the bottom line? How much would that interest you? I'm guessing for most business owners that would interest them quite a bit. So here's the situation, and here's a report. Was actually asked to step into a company and help them out. They are a successful business. They are growing. However, they aren't making as much money as they should. And the local economic development organization contacted me and said, "Hey, can you help these guys out?" And sure enough, I have background in their industry, so I was able to step in and meet with them and start working on what can they actually change to make the business better. And what we found was, in some cases, not all that surprising. They knew where some of the problems were, but they just didn't know how to fix them. So I've spent the past several weeks analyzing their business, looking at their financials, watching their operation, and observing where breakdowns are occurring. And here's what I found. The 50% labor savings doesn't require reducing staff as much as you would think. In fact, I would say they're right staff, and in some cases, they might even need to add a little bit more staff during certain points of the day to meet their productivity standards. That said, I'm also finding other areas where they're overstaffed and maybe where they're too top heavy, for example. They have too much administrative help, but it's not necessarily letting that person go, it's repositioning them in an area that they can be highly successful. And through that process, we can show growth of 20% or greater in certain areas of the business that currently can't happen right now the way they're working. So we're looking at ways to reduce labor costs without affecting service and without necessarily reducing people, just better allocation of where those resources are placed. The second part is then leveraging those changes to now find ways to grow revenue and increase profits. And that's where the big part of this report came in. This report's roughly 75, 77 pages long and goes into a great amount of detail to assess what's currently going on in the business and what needs to change in the business in order for them to be successful. I know for a fact that if they implement these changes, they're going to see significant improvements that I'm talking about. For example, the labor cost. That 50% reduction isn't a pull out of the air number. That is actually what we're looking at that we need to change in order for the business to become profitable. And if we can show that 50% reduction in labor costs, that is definitely going to lead to the bottom line. That, I would say, is their number one problem. Again, they knew about it. It was no secret to them. They just didn't know how to fix it. But that led to uncovering a lot of other issues that are going on in the company. And it's all these little elements that when you come together, all of a sudden takes a company that might be dealing with some profitability issues to now becoming highly profitable and highly successful, finding new and better ways to grow without adding additional cost to it. And that's a key element of what I work on and what MAAX is all about. It's about building better behaviors from your people, building stronger discipline in what you do, and then measuring the right information to make sure the decisions you're making are actually impacting the overall business, your profitability, and your freedom. If this sounds like something that might be important to you and you want to take a chance at learning how you can significantly improve your company standings, please contact me and let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it. And hey, if you're willing to contact me and reach out, I will be happy to give you a free copy of the book, Escape the Owner's Trap. And whether you are a business owner thinking of retiring or thinking of expanding, this book will help you figure that out. So please contact me today, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks again.